Hey everybody, I'm Bill Harvey with the Auto Dealership Academy. I hope you're having a fantastic day. You know, it really is strange how life's turn of events happen for us and to us or at us, however you want to describe that, and go on and on. And what I'm making reference to is if you see here in the studio, behind me on a shelf, there's an iPhone that maybe you know the story. It was on the back of my truck and it fell off the truck, and then a dump truck ran it over and a car ran it over, and oh my gosh, it was terrible. And I was forced into picking up a new phone, the one that I'm filming this on right now and coming to all of you live here in the group. And I was just like, dang it all. I love having this new phone. Unquestionably, it is magnificent and wonderful, and I did upgrade and bump myself and upsell myself and everything you want to talk about on that. But it reminds me, that broken phone right there reminds me over and over again that the little things that we can do in our lives to create procedure for ourselves. This is why sports is so popular for adults, because there is so much structure. The easier it is for us to want to do something, the easier it is for us to do activities, because when we have a procedure to follow, it becomes repetitious. It can get a little bit bored sometimes, unquestionably, but at the same time, when we're not exactly sure what to do, and more importantly, when we're working with other individuals that maybe have an agenda of their own in order to purchase this automobile, get a great deal on the automobile, and I'm talking about power sport as well, snowmobiles, ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, all of it, RVs, but the primary client, the primary audience here being all of you in the automobile business, these second greatest financial decisions we next to make to buying a house, these very, very important decisions that don't happen very frequently. Sometimes customers have an agenda that they're not really good at buying. And consequently, when you have a procedure, and I preface all this with that broken iPhone right there, and I love having this brand new one. When I was forced into having to purchase the new iPhone, I just wanted to get in and get a new one and get out again and get on with my day and get on with my work, because this was not planned. And what I found was, if I'd had a procedure for, this sounds silly. I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous, and I'll get off this soapbox in a moment. We'll get right into the 8 steps of success in seconds, because it's a procedure in itself. Absolutely, that's how it was formed. But if I had a procedure for carrying my phone and looking after my phone and having my phone with me all the time, then I would not have put it on the back of the truck, or at least I would have grabbed it before hopping in the vehicle and driving away. So some of you may say that was silly, careless, and foolish, Bill, and you're absolutely correct. And others would say, accidents happen. That's just what happened. It's out of our control. It's okay. The reality is, when we have a procedure, when we have structure to follow, life gets really easy, because you know all the time what to do. And that's what the 8 steps to success, my 8 steps to success, is really all about. This is how you double your closing ratio. This is how you double your gross profit ability. And especially as the supply shortage corrects itself and inventory start to build on the lot, now we don't want to give up those closing ratios that we experienced just months ago, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 months ago for some of us. And we don't want to go forward back to the old way of closing and negotiating and giving up gross in order just to get a sticker on the board. And you don't give that up when you have structure, when you have organization. You know, the one thing that we really learned about the inventory shortage and the pandemic was that when a shopper came in and they were the only one, and we only had 3 vehicles to choose from, or in some cases, many of you only had 1 vehicle to choose from, you probably did a really fantastic counsel and qualifying and interview process that led to the vehicle that you had. It may not be the perfect color, the perfect trim level, or even the perfect features that were on it, but the consumer purchased it because you had a procedure. So what I want to talk about today, because I'm getting a lot of calls, doing a lot of coaching, do a lot of teaching and training on how do I get back to a 40, 50% closing ratio, Bill? Like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to 4 or 5 people and I want to think about it, or not right now, or I'm just shopping, or waiting for great deals to come along, or waiting for you to have more inventory. There's lots. I've got magnificent talk tracks and tactics, how you can overcome those simple stalls Those aren't objections. Those are simple stalls that you haven't done something. You haven't created your attractive character enough. You haven't earned the know, like, and trust badge of honor enough for them to say, look, it's the second greatest financial decision of my life. And yes, I would like to have shiny, newer, faster, more fuel efficient with the latest and greatest technology, but oh my gosh, is it affordable? You can make that happen for them. And in subsequent sessions, I'm going to dive into that because I'm getting a lot of calls for that as well. It's like, Bill, hey, the price of vehicles has really gone up. How do we overcome the fact that interest rates are higher? Terms aren't getting any longer, banks are getting a little bit tighter, and the price of the vehicle is expensive. Well, with some manufacturers even offering discounts now, which is fantastic and great. But how do we convince someone that purchased 10 years ago that this vehicle right now is a super buy and they should have it? And always remember, when you can identify that desire, fear, and pain point, those triggers that will initiate their activity to purchase right now, well, life gets a whole lot easier. And really it comes down to the 8 steps to success. My 8 steps to success created a phenomenal framework for me eons ago. At the time, I didn't even realize that I was creating it. What I did recognize were the pieces that lots of trainers, teachers, speakers, authors, friends, colleagues, managers, mentors for that matter, were saying you need to do this. But when you structure your 8-step process in alignment with the customer, wow, your closing ratio just goes vertical. There is no closing that goes on other than the fact that a little bell rings in your head and it goes, tell them to sign hard, tell them to press hard through all 3 copies because this is done. They want to go with it. There is no negotiation because you've done the overview benefit commitment all the way along. So the 8 steps, my 8 steps to success is cellular. And when I say cellular, I really should have put the whiteboard behind me and drawn this out for you. So I'll link a picture of that in the description below, as well as an opportunity to join me on a 15-minute discovery call for you to learn more about this and how you can double your closing ratio and increase your gross profit. And you can sell double digits every single month with less than 40 leads. This is what I'm hearing right now as well. It's completely normal as we go through the cycle of the year. We come out of Q3, which is the summertime, and new model announcement, which typically traditionally happened at the end of this month, and move forward into Q4 with parents sending kids back to school and companies now planning for next year and all of the meetings that are going on. The distraction is now off of vacations and now back on to work, even though some of them would like to drive a new automobile. So you're still always going to compete with some level of distraction, but with a structure such as a welcome. Everything starts, you know the adage, you don't get a second chance to make a great first impression. So you've got to have that greeting that really resonates with them, because this is where you start your KLT badge of honor earning status. You earn the KLT badge of honor. You don't get it. You don't have it once, stick it on your chest, proudly walk around with it displayed on your chest. That would be ridiculous. It's something that is given to you by each individual customer with a great greeting, such as, what did you come in today to see and drive? Are you coming in on our brand new product? Are you coming in on our private sale event? Are you coming in on our big sale event? Are you responding to our advertisement that we just placed? You need to know all those parameters. You need to know all those factors. If these were balloons in the air and you want to captivate all the things that help buyers buy, you'd grab those strings and you'd pull them down. And on each balloon it would read, are you coming in on our private sale? Are you coming in on our new product? What did you come in to see and drive today? Are you coming in on our sale event? Are you coming in based on our advertisement? These are the things in your greeting that wins customers over. This is how you earn your KLT badge of honor. Now, could you get this? Could a customer say to you, look, I don't need to see it. I don't need to drive it. I just need to know what your best price is. How many of us get that regularly? Put a comment below. Tell me, yeah, I get it all the time. Yes, 99 out of 100 customers, whatever the case is. Tell me what a percentage is. Say, yes, I get it. Whatever you want to say. The bottom line is, if you try to force that consumer into a sit-down interview at your desk, even though you may have been told that may be the policy and procedure at your dealership, and then you're going to take them out and show them the vehicle, and then you're going to drive them to the vehicle, and then you're going to look at their trade-in, and then you're going to talk price, you lose them. You lose them instantly. So think of it this way. When the customer says, this is what I want, your subconscious mind, your conscious mind is like, oh golly, gee whizzigers, darn it all, how am I going to work with this? Here we go again. This isn't going to go anywhere. And of course, that leads you not to believe that every shopper is a buyer, doesn't it? What you need to do is your conscious mind doesn't make any decisions at all whatsoever. We're bombarded with signals and messages all the time. Even while you're listening to me and looking at this live, I'm sure out of one of your ears, you're listening to what else is going on. Just in case there's an opportunity, you can jump on it and you can click off on me because you'll see the replay tomorrow. This is recorded. I will post the replay in an email that you can watch it again and host it on our YouTube channel so you can captivate it there if you don't necessarily want to watch it in your Facebook feed. And of course, if you've got a friend, anybody that you know that could benefit by these training sessions, then you could send them the YouTube link if they do watch YouTube instead of having even a Facebook profile and not participating on Facebook, which is perfectly fine. We're not going to say anything about it. The bottom line is, let's go back to our 8 steps to success. When you do that fantastic greeting, customer tells you, all I want to know is best price, you have to address that. You have to go in that direction right out of the gate. But all you need to share with them is your advertised price. Because think about it. Now we're in the interview. And we say to them, okay, you have selected, and you must say this, you have selected the exact make, model, trim level, and features. You got to say that. You've got to narrow it down. Because your conscious mind is saying, best price on what? And the confused mind always says no. That's why you don't believe every shopper is a buyer, because the conscious mind is confused on what vehicle they absolutely want the best price on. So you've got to narrow that down. And hence that is an interview. That is the second step of my 8 steps to success. So we go from the greeting right to the interview. And there's only one way to get there, and it's a straight line down with an arrow. And again, I will link in the description below, so watch for that. I'll put up that as a takeaway, a free takeaway that you should print out, post beside your computer, put it on your desk blotter, post it up on your bathroom mirror at home so it's the first thing that you see in the morning. Put it in your demonstrator so you're driving in, you're saying, okay, greeting, interview, then the steps from there. At the interview on that best price, you can say to that individual, you know exactly what you want, so that fits into the exact product that we have in the lot. Or if you're going to order the vehicle, then you know exactly what you want. Kindly tell me specifically, explain it to me like I am a 2-year-old. That will drive home to the client that maybe they haven't considered everything. And maybe best price is not necessarily what they absolutely need to be able to make this decision. Because although price tops the list of what we need to know, and we are down here at the bottom of the 5 top things that customers need to have, you make that transition switch over throughout your sales process. When they actually buy from you and they're surveyed again, they put you at the top of the list. You made the difference for them to buy, and price became very distant all the way at the bottom while everything else stays the same. So getting to specific product, which is the second most important thing on their list, is where you said in the interview, so you know the exact make, model, features, equipment, color, term that you would like to go with, including down payment. Look, if you're not quoting a down payment, I think you're really missing the boat as well. That may not resonate with a lot of you. You may be very accustomed to just quoting payments and assuming 0 down, and nobody wants to put anything down. Let me tell you this. If you don't ask for a down payment, you're never, ever going to get a down payment. By the way, putting a down payment down on the automobile that they want lowers the monthly payment, which makes your attractive character that much better because you're making it that much more affordable. It lends itself extremely well to the tactic. Hey, look, we have lots of makes and models and colors and features, all at very affordable payments. May I calculate some of those for you? Wow, that's how you arrive at it, by term and down payment. So start putting automatically a down payment in $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, whatever the case is. Give them the choice. When customers have choices to make, they feel like they're in control, and that's a great thing. Now let's get back to the interview. So if they don't necessarily know the exact model, if they don't necessarily know what even you have available or what you can order, then you've got to go through it and write it all down. And that's the interview process. It's not so much about where do you live and what do you do, where do you work. Those were all great suggestions, quite frankly, in my opinion, eons ago when we didn't have the internet and consumers couldn't do all the research they were doing. And it was an opportunity for us to build a relationship and present our attractive character. The other side of the equation was we needed to get their address to know that we're selling this vehicle locally, because if they're traveling hours to purchase from us, the likelihood of getting the deal is slim to nil because they have so much competition to purchase in between. For whatever reason it brought them in here, they're probably visiting friends or they're on holiday and they want something to do or a business trip, and they wander into your dealership to find out how much they can get it for. That was the purpose of finding out where they live. Not to mention, you could send them a thank you card in traditional mail. Today all we need, cell phone number, email address. That's all the contact information that you want to get. And you got to have a reason to give it to them. So you can't just say, what's your last name? Instead of just asking for their last name in the interview process, ask them how they spell their last name. This is assuming, I made the assumption that you have their first name. And they may have said their last name and maybe you didn't catch it. Maybe you didn't forget it. Well, pardon me, maybe you forgot it. My apologies. Now, this all starts from the greeting and you handing them your business card. A friend just said that to me the other day. They said, I just got a hint, a tactic from someone that said, business cards are done. Don't hand them out anymore. It's a waste of time. They wind up on the floor. They get lost. They get thrown away and so on like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, true. I couldn't agree more. It's not as crucial as it used to be before. However, it does play itself into the law of reciprocity, and that works absolutely perfectly in our 8 steps to success in this particular situation at the interview. Look at how much time I'm spending on the greeting and the interview. If you go to any session, any seminar with anybody out there, they probably express through this. You know how to make a greeting. Welcome to ABC Motors. My name is, and you are. It's a great one-liner. That's a procedure all in itself. But customers are hearing it all over all the time. You've got to be a little bit different to create your attractive character. So you could say, hi, my name is, what did you come in to see and drive today? Look, they know where they are. They're standing under the sign of your dealership. They knew where it was. They pulled off the road and came in. Not to say that you shouldn't say you're at and I am and your name is. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you can skip it if you've done it forever or if you don't like it and you want to get right down to business. That's what the 8 steps are all about. Let's help this customer get what they want, where we see them getting what they want so we can see ourselves getting what we want. And that's a sticker on the board and a nice big commission so we get the lifestyle we want, the big house, the pool in the backyard, the big boat, the swanky vacations, our RSP and our ESP, all the rest of them, the list goes on. The bottom line is, when you give them your business card, the law of reciprocity instantly, unconsciously back here kicks in, and now you can get their contact information because with an email you can say this time of the year, manufacturers give incentives and without any notice will say and start advertising, even just as they're telling us, we'll start at massive advertising campaigns. This is the discount or this is the offering. And I want to be the first one to let you know that that is available so that you get your choice of selection before everybody rushes in to pick it up. Now, pre-2019, pardon me, that didn't exist. Right? We could say that, but there was always 4 acres of cars out front. And that may be exaggerating. That maybe your dealership has that. Maybe your dealership has 4 cars out front. I certainly hope you have more than that. But it was difficult in pre-2019 to say that with conviction, that you actually believe it. Today, as we've gone through it and our inventories have not built to those levels, it's really quite reasonable. And customers have heard it or read it somewhere or have been told by somebody that it's difficult to get a car. So you could leverage that. Now, this is all about the greeting and the interview. I just haven't even touched on the other steps, and I want to get to those before we run out of time today. So once you've done a dynamite interview and you have captivated the email address, you've got their cell phone, and the way that you get the cell phone is really quite easy. I would start off with area code. So your whatever area code that you're living in, you would start off with those three numbers, 1, 2, 3, and then looking down at your sheet, because you want to be writing this down. You'll never memorize those numbers. You're waiting for them to tell you, and wait. It gets painful, right? Just like you're sitting there watching me. If you just came in seconds ago, like nanoseconds ago, and I was looking down, not talking, you'd be like, what is this all about? What did I miss? What's going on here? And then you start thinking, is this worth my while? Yeah, definitely. You need that pregnant pause because that exerts pressure on them. And they will give you the number. Now, albeit they may give you a fake number. Let's keep this in perspective. But at least you got something, okay? And if they did give you a fake number, throughout your 8 steps to help them purchase the automobile, they may say, you know that the number I gave you, let me check that again. I just want to make sure the numbers are right. They will never give you 7 wrong numbers. They'll give you 6 correct numbers, and 1 wrong so that you can't reach them. The point is, if we don't have that contact information, and that was the point of the interview going way back eons ago when I started selling cars, and this process existed before that, was to get the contact information so that we can do follow-up and follow-on. This is how you double your closing ratio. This is how you sell 20 cars per month with only 40 leads. It is so feasible. I'm not going to say easy. It's so feasible. I'll walk you through it. I'm absolutely shocked how many people don't book a 15-minute call with me, because I can tell you in 15 minutes how to do it. 15 minutes could really change your life. So I'll link that below. Book a discovery call. Let's get on. It doesn't cost you anything. I won't sell you anything. I absolutely promise. I'm more than happy to help you. That's what I do. I love doing this. I love helping everyone achieve their maximum potential because I struggled miserably for a long time, and that's why I built this system. And obviously this is a culmination of my very best stuff for the past 25 years. Okay, getting back to the 8 steps to success. So we've done the greeting, we've done a dynamite interview, we've got their contact information. In the interview, we tell them the vehicle that they're going to get. Did you hear that? You tell them the vehicle that you're going to get. You don't ask them what they want, because if you ask them, you get this Christmas wish list of a 6-year-old, exactly what they want. And you probably, especially as inventories have not built to pre-2019 levels, you may not have it. Murphy's Law is back pre-2019. We didn't even have it then. So tell them all of our Rams, 1500, Silverados, Tundras, Frontiers come with, the pilots come with automatic transmission, AM, FM, Apple CarPlay, Android CarPlay, driving dynamics. We have light colors and dark colors. You tell them the vehicle that they're going to get in that interview. You don't ask them, now, what did you want? Because we just don't have that inventory level yet. It's coming. The manufacturers have told us unquestionably by Christmas time, we should be right back to normal levels, which means the suppliers are coming together as well. Let's not bank on that. Let's just hope that that does come together. So tell them what you've got and ask them of those, of that vehicle description, does that sound like a nice vehicle? You didn't ask them, you didn't give them 3 choices to pick from. You just asked them if that's a nice vehicle. Then you move very quickly to the vehicle you're currently driving. Will you be trading that into us? This will help you in your process, knowing that in the back of your mind over here in subconscious, you're going to be taking a trade in. And then finally, share with them what the advertised price is. It's just a bi-weekly. Just share with them what the payment is and get commitment right now at the interview. You see how your closing ratio can go absolutely vertical, because without even going out on the lot, without even walking into the showroom, you can do this on the phone. A little harder to do it on email, but you could do it, wordsmith and craft it, and book a 15-minute call with me. I'll show you how I do it and have success with it. You can get commitment before ever walking on the lot. So let's assume, in the interest of time and the interest of the media, that we have the perfect customer. We've told them the vehicle that they want and that the bi-weekly is acceptable. Now we can go out and do a product presentation. This is the 3rd step of the 8 steps to success. You must do a product presentation. Now, as I said before, no two customers are the same. So some customers will allow you to do a 60-point feature benefit presentation that takes you maybe an hour. We're talking about a car show level presentation, and you should be able to do that. And the only way you will do it well and with confidence is practicing with friends and family. So that is who you practice and train with. You never practice and train with customers. If you want to do it with me, we can go live like this, just you and I, and you can film yourself doing a walk around and I can critique it, or vice versa. I can do a walk around at my dealership for you, showing you, and then we can switch roles. Book a 15-minute call. We'll figure that out. From the product presentation that creates all the excitement, enthusiasm, getting commitment. Isn't this a nice vehicle? Don't you think it's great? Don't you like it? Now you need to take it out on the roadway, because your demonstration drive is an extension of the product presentation. Can you see how your closing ratio goes vertical? Because everything is in alignment. The customer's falling in love with the automobile, and consequently, they're falling in love with the automobile because of you. You're excited. This is terrific. You want to take them out on the road. You ask them, can I accompany you? Can I go with you? I've got a prescribed route that we'll take, and your demonstration drive should last 15, 20, the longer you can keep them in the vehicle, 40 minutes, fantastic. Make sure you've got enough gas. Make sure that the reception knows that you're going out. Make sure you've got your cell phone with you just in case you run out of gas. Make sure the boss is okay with the fact that you're going to go out on a 40-minute demonstration drive. Now think about it. It's only 20 minutes out, 20 minutes back. So if you're trying to hit on all the roadway features, we're talking city driving, highway driving, rough road, smooth road, turning circle, parking capacity to parking lot, demonstrating the rear backup camera, and obviously the park sensors fore and after the vehicle, or all the bird's eye view cameras going around it. This is what customers buy into. They can read about this stuff all day long on the internet. They can see the most dynamic videos. The manufacturers spend millions of dollars on gorgeous models and perfectly scripted sessions, and yet until they experience it, they don't believe it. Especially if they're coming out of a 10-year-old vehicle. And remember, the average age of a car on the roadway is 16 years old. Yes, you're taking a lot of 4, 5, and 6-year-old trades, but the average age of an automobile on the road is 16 years. So it's not unusual for someone to come in with a 10-year-old truck. And of course, the price was way different. So when we talk about that value bridge, yeah, you really need to build that bridge from what their old vehicle's not doing to what the new one will do, because this is the discrepancy in price. They're not like this anymore. It is, anyhow, you get the message. Then once we have done the interview and we do the product presentation and we're gaining their commitment, isn't this a nice vehicle? Don't you think it is great? Do you like what I'm sharing with you? Does this make sense? Open the tailgate of your vehicle. Sit in the driver's seat of your new car. You can't say that at the very beginning of the vehicle, but you can tuck that into your dialogue as you go around and you've spent a few minutes with it. And I said, no two customers are the same. So no customer is going to allow, not every customer, pardon me, is going to allow you to do a 1-hour presentation. I get it. That makes sense. However, you need to be prepared for that. And on the other side of the equation, it's very easy for you to do 3 points at each position change going around the car, which would be the achiever, the non-attentive individual, the person that's not facing you, and I'm trying to talk into the microphone as I'm demonstrating this. They're not facing you, they're walking around, they're not keeping pace with it. They're likely the one that's asking for the best price, what's the lowest price, how much can you do on it? And you need to have a presentation that they can't easily find these features on the internet. That's what will earn you the KLT badge of honor and present your attractive character. Segue to demonstration drive, which they won't take it out on the roadway for even 5 minutes. So you're going to hopefully just get them to drive it from this parking spot to another parking spot. Maybe demonstrate the backup camera. Maybe demonstrate the park assist. Maybe get them to park it beside their old vehicle, because their old vehicle for that achiever type of buyer is probably only 2, 3, 4 years old, maybe even 6 months plus a day old. The point is, you got to get them behind the wheel. when you get them behind the wheel, maybe you can get them to drive around the dealership or just around the parking lot. As they're driving around the parking lot, you can say, now you're in the vehicle, we're driving along. Are you sure that you don't have 5 minutes just to take it down the road? And that way, when you go home and think about it tonight, or you speak to your spouse about it, or you're talking to your advisor that you really want to go with it, you can say, I drove it. I didn't drive it just in the parking lot. I drove it out on the roadway. I really like it. It's great. Or maybe you won't like it. You can leverage a little bit of the mismatching concept of selling by positioning a negative thought, such as maybe you won't like it. Maybe they won't. Whatever gets them out on the roadway, all of a sudden now they start to fall in love with it. Make no mistake, as they've transcended the buyer process, there is very little chance, slim to absolutely nil. Now, I'll never be so bold as to say not at all. Like 100% they won't say they don't like it. Somebody could. But this is the point. You got them behind the wheel. When we come back from the demonstration drive, literally to the dealership, you're going to go back to your interview. Make sure you ask them, does everything make sense? Do you like what I shared with you? And at that point, you say, would you like us to go and put a number on your trade-in? Now, they could have asked you in the very beginning, before we go any further, I don't need to see it. I don't need to drive it. I just want to know, what's my trade worth? This is the beauty of my cellular-like process, because from the greeting to the interview, they want to know what their trade is worth. You don't have to ask them where they live, what their email address is, what their telephone number is. Go directly to the trade appraisal. Go directly to it. Make life easy on yourself. Work with these people and say this to them. Okay, sell me your car. Sell me your car. Just like that. Isn't that the easiest way to handle what's my trade worth? Sell me your car. Okay, sell me your car. And go out. Walk out to it. Don't stand in the showroom, kind of look at it. Even if it's a rust bucket, even if there's holes in the rocker panels, even, hey, this happened to me. At the first dealership I was working, I'm standing at the front of the dealership. Guy drives in an old car, and the owner and I are standing there, and we're looking at this old car. The guy parks it right in front of us, which we had a little tiny bit of a hill. Not a hill like this, little tiny bit of a hill in the driveway, and the parking brake obviously didn't work. He left it in gear, and it chugged down the hill. And the owner looked at me, he said, Billy, you just sold the car to that guy. And I said, yes, sir. Walked right over to him and said, what did you come in to see and drive today? And he smiled at me. He goes, you saw me drive in. I said, yes, I did. And he said, you saw it roll down the hill. And I said, yes, I did. Do you need a brick? Do you need a stone? And we both had a good laugh about it. And yes, he obviously purchased that day, but he had to. The pain was way more powerful than the fear of payments, and the desire had long since left him because he was just trying to get to the next paycheck or get to the next month, which would make the huge difference, and he could get in there and purchase his vehicle because he knew he was on board time. The bottom line is, go out and walk out to the car. Have a look at it. Tell them to sell it to you. Open the trunk. Open the doors. If the thing is a wreck and a mess, ask them this. Hey, look, can you do me a favor? Go home and clean it all out and wash it and detail it. And let me set an appointment with our used car buyer when it is really looking great, especially if it's not so nice. Okay, if it's really quite nice, then you can kind of get away with it and tuck things away and clean it out. If you're getting a call and they say, what's my vehicle worth? And you say, look, it's impossible for me to be fair to you and fair to your vehicle. When can you bring it by? And they go, maybe tomorrow. Then can you do this for me? And stage that vehicle like we stage homes. Tell them that. Clean it out. Get all the stuff out of the trunk. Put both key fobs on the key ring and put the owner's manual in the glove box. Once you've completed this, and you've done the appraisal, and you share with them what the number is, specifically what the difference figure is, and what the new biweekly is, and you get their commitment that, yeah, that's affordable, then do we move to the purchase consultation, which is just simply to finalize the paperwork. That's why I don't call it closing and negotiation. Closing and negotiation happens throughout. Closing and negotiation happens at the interview, happens at the product presentation, happens at the demonstration drive, happens at the trade appraisal. You must close those off. Get commitment that, yes, this is the vehicle they'd like to own. Because if you rely on just sitting at your desk like this and tricky talk tracks, not to mention, I have some fantastic, especially the objection handling formula to help you get over the most classic, easy stalls, not to mention conditions, to get you what you want, which is sticker on the board and a big fat commission check. The bottom line is you need that commitment throughout these 8 steps. So what I wanted to drive home, and we didn't cover off the other two steps. The other two are kind of self-explanatory. Right after the purchase consultation is the delivery presentation. You really want to work on your delivery. And again, book a 15-minute discovery call where I can share with you a delivery which will get you the second car in their driveway within 6 months and 2 referrals. One from a colleague, one from a family member. Absolutely guaranteed every single time. This is how you can get to 20 and 30 vehicles per month. This is why I can guarantee my system will get you to those numbers, because the business is right here. It's right under your nose. Quit staring at the showroom doors. Quit waiting for the phone to ring. It's right here, right under your nose. And I guarantee you can get into 20 and 30 cars. Just book a discovery call below and let's talk about it. The last and final step is the follow-up. And you must follow up all the time. And so at my 8 steps to success, follow-up is a big, huge number 8 that circles all the steps to the sale. Now, regardless of where the customer starts out, they could say, look, I don't need to know anything about it. I just want to drive it. You start off with the demonstration drive and then segue back to the interview. Do you like what you see? Can I share a couple of pointers and features on the vehicle that you may not have discovered, someone may not have told you? And that takes you out to the product presentation, because you've got to do a product presentation. I mean, the car is so exciting. We're not selling life insurance. We're not selling paper. We're not selling, oh gosh, if something really terrible happens, at least your family's looked after. Some people don't care about that. They're crazy people, but that would be a tough sale if you were faced with that, wouldn't it? We sell the automobile. It's exciting. Everybody wants one. And it's shiny, new, faster, latest and greatest technology with a fully protected payment of a warranty. Why would they say no? The bottom line is, follow these 8 steps to success. I will put the diagram in the comments below, because this is our private members group exclusively for you. And book a 15-minute strategy call with me, or pardon me, a discovery call. We can move to a strategy call, and I'll share with you how my system will guarantee that you get into 20s and 30s with, I'm not going to say without any effort, but without so much effort that you think that you really need to do so. So just type in the comments, manifesto, and I will follow up with you. And I'll put in a link to the discovery call. Just click on the link, pick a date and time that's convenient for you, and let's talk. Just talk. No sales pitch, no commitment, nothing like that. My name is Bill Harvey. I know I'm way out of time, 7 minutes over. My apologies. I just thought it was really important to share that with you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you're having an amazing week so far. 2 more weeks till this month is out. Lots of opportunity for you to be able to put 10 deals on the board, regardless of where you are in Canada or the US, regardless of what size of dealership that you're at, regardless of what region that you're in. Even if you have only 3 vehicles on lot, I can show you how to get into 10s, 20s, and 30s guaranteed. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. And if you want to look at some of the other material, scroll down and have a look at what is down there. And by the way, I respond to every single one of your comments. So right now I'm staring at the fisheye lens of the camera to deliver this to you. I do see in my peripheral, there are some comments below. I will respond to all those comments. When you ask me a question, you're getting me. You're not getting somebody on my team. My team does the marketing, advertising. My team does the technology. I write the material. I respond to your comments. I will take your call. So if you want to talk to me, call me 705-350-0811. My name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy. Feel free to call me. If I can take your call, I will. If I can't, please leave a message. Your message is important to me and I will get to it. 705-350-0811. 0811. You'll find that in my profile as well, and you'll find that in all my social media feeds out there. It's been a pleasure delivering this here. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and the month is going to finish off strong for you. And let's get ready to finish the year off really strong as we go into the 4th quarter of the year. Bye-bye for now.